The COVID pandemic altered employees' work worldwide as it drastically reduced international mobility and forced workers to adapt to work conditions very different from their previous work experiences. So how did employees' prior experiences influence their interpretations of and responses to the disruption? By conducting repeated interviews with global professionals who performed much of their work through international travel pre-pandemic, researchers discovered 3 response pathways workers used to address their changing identities following the COVID work disruption, namely plugging in, pondering, and pausing. Many workers experienced tensions in how they related to distant coworkers before the pandemic. They may have felt too distant from distant coworkers or struggled with cultural differences, but they saw the pandemic as an opportunity to plug in or ease coworker tension by connecting through video conferencing and bonding better with coworkers. Other workers had felt ambivalence toward their work before the pandemic. But when the pandemic-induced travel restrictions removed international travel from their daily regimens, they spent much more time in self-reflection, pondering their work identities, and figuring out more deeply who they were and what they wanted to become. Yet others paused working on their identities during the pandemic. They realized that the event would be temporary, and so they suspended thoughts about their global work aspirations to cope with changes that had occurred. Instead, they chose to pick those thoughts back up after the pandemic ended. Wonder how people work on their identities in response to changing work conditions? If so, you may want to read this paper.